Think about the last 5 pieces of advice you received about money, success, or career. Now ask yourself, is the person who gave you that advice rich, successful, living the life you want? If the answer is no, why are you listening to them? Here's the brutal truth that nobody wants to admit. Poor people love giving advice. They have opinions about everything: how to invest, how to build a business, how to get rich. And they're always eager to share these opinions. But rich people? Rich people don't give advice. They show results. This is the fundamental difference between winners and losers. Losers talk. Winners execute. Losers have theories. Winners have bank accounts. Losers explain why things won't work. Winners make things work. Niccolò Machiavelli understood this 500 years ago. He watched poor advisors counsel princes with theories and philosophy. Then he watched successful rulers ignore the advice and follow practical strategies that actually produced results. He wrote, "There is nothing more difficult to take in hand, more perilous to conduct, or more uncertain in its success than to take the lead in the introduction of a new order of things." Translation: talking about success is easy. Actually, achieving success is hard. Most people choose talking. Today, I'm going to show you exactly why you need to stop listening to poor people's advice and start following rich people's results. By the end of this video, you'll understand who to ignore, who to follow, and how to filter advice through the only metric that matters: results. Write this statement in the comments: I follow results, not advice. Let's begin. Before we go further, you need to understand why poor people are so eager to give advice. It's not because they want to help you. It's because giving advice serves their psychological needs. Here's what's actually happening when poor people give advice. First, giving advice makes them feel knowledgeable and important. They're not rich, they're not successful, but when you ask for their advice, you're treating them like an expert. This validates them. It makes them feel valuable even though they haven't created value in their own lives. Second, giving advice is free. It costs them nothing. They don't have to risk anything. They don't have to execute anything. They just talk. And talking is safe. Doing is risky, so they choose talking. Third, giving advice allows them to live vicariously through your potential success. They can't succeed themselves, so they try to participate in your journey by advising you. It's a form of psychological parasitism. Fourth, giving advice protects their ego. When you fail following their advice, they can say, "Well, you didn't do it right." When you succeed, despite not following their advice, they can claim you got lucky. Either way, their ego remains intact. Fifth, giving bad advice keeps you down at their level. Misery loves company. If you stay poor like them, they feel better about their own failure. This is often subconscious, but it's real. Machiavelli observed, "Men nearly always follow the tracks made by others and proceed in their affairs by imitation, even though they cannot entirely keep to the tracks of others or emulate the prowess of their models." People copy what they see. If poor people surround you, you'll copy poor behaviors and get poor results. This is why they want to give you advice. It keeps you in their reality. Now here's the uncomfortable question. How much of the advice you've received in your life came from people who have actually achieved what you're trying to achieve? Your parents advised you about career and money. Are they rich? Your friends advised you about business and investment. Are they successful? Your colleagues advised you about advancement. Have they advanced? Most people take advice from whoever's willing to give it. This is insane. You wouldn't take health advice from someone who's obese. You wouldn't take relationship advice from someone who's divorced 3 times. But somehow people think financial advice from broke people is acceptable. It's not. It's poison, and it's keeping you poor. Here's how to identify poor people's advice instantly. It starts with, "You should," or "I think you should." They're telling you what to do without having done it themselves. It's heavy on theory, light on specifics. They explain concepts, but can't give you exact steps because they've never executed. It focuses on why things won't work. They're protecting you from risk because they're risk-averse, which is why they're poor. It sounds safe and reasonable. Poor advice always sounds sensible because it's designed to keep you safe, not make you rich. It comes with lots of caveats and warnings. They're covering their ass because they know their advice probably won't work. Write this in the comments. No results, no credibility. Now let's talk about why rich people rarely give advice. And when they do, it's completely different from poor people's advice. Rich people don't give advice because advice is theoretical. Rich people deal in results. They don't tell you what you should do, they show you what they did. They don't explain theories, they demonstrate systems. Here's what's different about rich people. First, they've actually done it. They're not theorizing. They're not speculating. They built wealth. They know exactly what works because they did it. Their knowledge is practical, not theoretical. Second, they understand that context matters. What worked for them might not work for you because situations differ. So instead of giving advice, they share principles. Principles are adaptable. Advice is rigid. Third, they're selective about sharing. They know their strategies have value. They don't give them away to everyone. If a rich person shares something with you, it's because they see potential in you or they benefit from helping you. Fourth, they're busy executing. Giving advice takes time. Time spent talking is time not spent building. Rich people optimize for building, not talking. Fifth, they know most people won't do anything with advice anyway. They've seen thousands of people ask for advice, nod along, then do nothing. Why waste time advising people who won't execute? Machiavelli wrote, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are." Applied here, everyone hears advice. Few people actually execute and get results. Rich people know this, so they filter who they help. Here's how rich people operate differently. Instead of, "You should do X," they say, "I did X, here's what happened." Instead of theories, they show numbers and outcomes. Instead of explaining why things work, they demonstrate that things work. Instead of free advice, they charge for consulting because their time has value. Instead of talking to everyone, they select who gets their attention. When a rich person does share something valuable, it's usually specific and actionable. They tell you exactly what they did, not vague concepts. Backed by results, they show you the outcome, not just the theory. Honest about downsides. They tell you what didn't work and why. Time-bound. They don't waste time. They're efficient in their communication. Conditional. They expect you to execute, not just listen. If you get advice from someone who's actually rich, pay attention. But understand that real rich people aren't going around giving free advice to strangers. If someone is constantly dispensing advice about getting rich, check their bank account. They're probably broke. Now I'm going to give you the exact filter to evaluate any advice you receive. It's called the results filter. Question 1. Does this person have the results I want? Not are they smart, not are they nice. Do they have actual, measurable results? If you want to build a business, has this person built one? If you want to get rich, is this person rich? If the answer is no, discount everything they say. Question 2. Are their results recent and relevant? Someone who got rich 30 years ago might not have relevant advice for today. Results must be recent in a similar field and significant enough to be beyond luck. Question 3. Can they explain how they got their results? Some people stumble into success through luck. You need systems. They should explain exactly what they did, why it worked, what failed, and how they adapted. If they can't explain their process clearly, they don't understand their own success. How to apply this in practice? Someone gives investment advice. Ask, what's your net worth? What returns have you generated? If they deflect, they have no results. Ignore them. Someone explains business building. Ask, which businesses have you built? What revenue? If they're planning to start, they have no results. Someone gives career advice. Ask, how many promotions? What's your position and salary? If they're stuck, they have no results. This sounds harsh, but following advice from people without results wastes years of your life. Ignore these people completely. Academic experts with no real-world experience. Motivational speakers who aren't rich. Social media gurus with no verified results. Family and friends who mean well but are broke. Financial advisors who aren't personally wealthy. Find people with verified results. Study what they did, not what they say. Write this in the comments. I study doers, not talkers. Now that you know who to ignore, you need to know how to find and follow people with real results. Here's the systematic approach. Step 1. Define the exact results you want. Be specific. Don't say, I want to be successful. Say, I want to build a business generating $500K annually, or I want to be a VP at a Fortune 500 company by age 35. Specificity allows you to identify who has achieved what you want. Step 2. Find people who have those exact results. Not close, not similar, exact. If you want a 500K business, find 500K businesses. If you want to be a VP, find VPs. Where to find them? LinkedIn. Search by position, company, career trajectory. Industry conferences. Speakers usually have results. Company shareholder letters. CEOs explain what they did. Business case studies. Documented results with specific strategies. Industry publications. Profiles of successful people. Step 3. Study what they actually did. Don't ask them for advice. They probably won't respond. Instead, research their career path, where they started, how they moved, their decisions at key moments, pivots, risks they took, their strategies that didn't work, failures they learned from, their patterns across multiple successes, what's consistent. Most successful people have documented their journey somewhere. Find it, study it. Step 4. Look for patterns across multiple successful people. One person's success could be luck. 10 people's success following similar patterns, that's a system. Identify what successful people in your field have in common. Did they all start in similar positions? Did they all make similar moves at similar times? Do they all have similar skills? Did they all take similar risks? The commonalities reveal the actual path to success, not what people theorize about. Here's a critical point. You're not copying successful people. You're identifying principles from their results and adapting them to your situation. Copying doesn't work because context differs, but principles are universal. Identify the principle behind their results, then apply that principle in your context. You study 10 successful entrepreneurs. They all took significant risks early in their careers. The principle isn't take the exact risk they took. The principle is early, calculated risks create disproportionate returns. Apply that principle in your situation with your risk tolerance and resources. Another critical point: results take time. Someone might have results today from actions they took 5 years ago. You need to understand the timeline. What did they do 5 years ago that created today's results? That's what you should do today. Poor people want instant results. That's why they're poor. Rich people understand delayed gratification. They plant seeds today that grow into trees tomorrow. Machiavelli studied history obsessively. He didn't study what people said, he studied what they did and what results they got. Then he identified patterns. Then he advised based on those patterns. You need to do the same. Study results, identify patterns, apply principles, measure outcomes, adjust, repeat. This is how you actually get rich, not by listening to advice, by following results. Now I need to tell you the harsh truth that will offend most people watching this video. Most of the people in your life should not be giving you advice about anything important, and you need to stop asking them. Your parents love you, but if they're not rich, their financial advice will keep you poor. Their advice comes from their reality, and their reality is scarcity. They'll tell you to be safe, get a secure job, don't take risks. This is poverty thinking dressed up as wisdom. Your friends care about you, but if they're not successful, their career advice will keep you average. They'll tell you to be realistic, don't work too hard, enjoy life now. This is mediocrity disguised as balance. Your colleagues want to help, but if they're stuck in the same position you are, their advancement advice will keep you stuck. They'll tell you to wait your turn, don't rock the boat, be patient. This is stagnation masked as professionalism. Here's what people don't want to hear. Good intentions don't create good outcomes. Love doesn't equal expertise. Caring doesn't equal competence. The people closest to you often give you the worst advice because they project their fears onto you. They're afraid of risk, so they tell you risk is bad. They protect their ego by keeping you at their level. Your success highlights their failure. They genuinely don't know what works. They've never achieved what you're trying to achieve. This doesn't make them bad people, but it makes their advice dangerous. Machiavelli wrote, "The wise man does at once what the fool does finally," meaning eventually everyone learns to ignore bad advice. Smart people learn this early. Fools learn this after wasting decades following advice from people without results. You need to make a choice right now. Keep listening to people you love who have no results, or start following people with results who don't care if you like them. One path keeps you where you are. One path takes you where you want to go. You can't have both. This is the harsh truth. You need to create distance between yourself and broke people. Even if they're family, even if they're friends, their reality will pull you down to their level if you let it. You don't have to be cruel. You don't have to burn bridges. But you do need to stop asking for their advice. And you definitely need to stop following it. Replace them with people who have results. Study those people. Follow their patterns. Ignore everyone else. Write this in the comments. Results over relationships. Let me summarize what you've learned today. Poor people give advice because it makes them feel important, costs them nothing, and keeps you at their level. Rich people don't give advice. They show results. The results filter has 3 questions. Does this person have the results you want? Are their results recent and relevant? Can they explain how they got them? If the answer to any question is no, ignore their advice. To find and follow results, define exactly what you want. Find people with those exact results. Study what they actually did. Look for patterns across multiple successful people. Test what you learn and measure outcomes. The harsh truth is that most people in your life, even those who love you, should not be giving you advice about success, money, or career. Their advice reflects their reality, and their reality is probably not what you want. You need to make a choice. Keep listening to broke people and stay broke, or start following rich people's results and build wealth. You can't do both. Machiavelli survived by following results, not theories. He studied what actually worked in the real world, not what philosophers said should work. This made him one of the most influential thinkers in history. You need to do the same. Stop listening to talkers. Start studying doers. Filter everything through results. Ignore advice from people without results. Follow patterns from people with results. Here's your challenge for the next 30 days. Every time someone gives you advice about money, career, or success, ask them about their results. If they don't have the results you want, thank them politely and ignore everything they said. If they do have results, study what they actually did, not just what they're telling you to do. Do this for 30 days, and you'll be shocked by how much bad advice you've been following. You'll also be shocked by how few people actually have results worth learning from. If this video changed how you evaluate advice, hit the like button. If you want more brutal truths about success and wealth, subscribe and turn on notifications. And if you know someone who keeps asking broke people for financial advice, share this video with them. They need to hear this. Write this final statement in the comments. I only follow people with results. Remember, advice is cheap. Results are expensive. Poor people give advice because it's free. Rich people show results because that's what matters. Stop listening to losers. Start following winners. Your bank account will thank you. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Now, go find someone with results and study what they actually did.